Alright, this is a 2008 Nissan Maxima with a 3.5. We're going to attempt to try to change the water pump without removing the timing cover, which is what you do by the book, remove the whole timing cover, but I've been seeing these videos that you can really barely see. They have real bad quality, where you can remove the tensioner, the timing chain tensioner, and take out the water pump, slide it out after removing the tension. So rather than show you, because look how tight it is, rather than show you my hands here in the way just working, I'm just going to tell you right now what I'm going to start with, and then I'll show you the what the end result of that is. So I'll remove this here, this coolant reservoir. I'm going to remove this power steering, the tank. I'm also going to remove this fuse box, and down here there's a motor mount, and of course there's some covers here that I'm going to remove. The ones for the phasers I'm going to remove, and I'm also going to remove the one for the water pump and the one for the tensioner. I would show you how to remove this, but I'd say if you don't know how to remove these parts, you shouldn't be doing this job at all, because this is not a simple job, and you should know how to remove these simple components. I'll get back to you once I have them removed and show you what it looks like. Alright, I'm back. Okay, so I took off the... Well, I actually didn't take it off. I actually ended up just moving this out of the way, which is the fuse box. I got the reservoir for the coolant just propped up over here, and this just kind of slid out. Okay, not including, of course, the upper motor mount here that came off. There's bolts on top, but if you feel like it got stuck, it didn't. This bolt is facing downward. You have to get it from the bottom, coming upward. But what I didn't know was that it looks like I'm going to have to remove this belt tensioner. It's not very hard to do, but that's what's going to have to be done in order to get this cover off here. See the cover? I'm not sure if you can see it. This is the bad part about these cars. There's not very much room. Now these are the phaser covers I was talking about here that I'm going to take off. That one and that one. Now I'm going to take those off merely because when I remove the timing chain tensioner, I'm going to rotate the engine probably like 20 degrees or so to release the tension from the water pump side, and put the tension on the tensioner side without the tensioner. So while I'm doing that, the chances are it might jump, so I want to mark the phasers of where they were before I removed it, so when I put it back in, even if they say you can hear a pop and blah blah, I don't have to worry about what I heard or what I didn't hear. All I gotta do is be sure that everything's lined up in the marks that I made. I'm gonna make one mark here, one mark here, of course after the cover's off, and make sure and take these off and put it back on. Then when I put it back together, the marks should line up. I'll show how that's done, or how I'm going to plan to do it, so you can better understand how you can make sure that the timing chain does not jump on you. I'll get back to you. Okay, we're back. I got the phasers off and I got it all marked. See, it's on top dead center. Here's the mark I'm going to point with my screwdriver. This one, that's top dead center, and the other one is right here, right against this cover that I haven't removed yet. You'll see it like an indentation line there, lines up with this one. Don't get them confused with these two that I also lined up. I also painted so you guys can see. There's 1, 2 on the third one. That's top dead center, going to here, to this mark that goes straight up on this cover. That's where the water pump is at. That's where it lives. Another thing I did was mark this mark on the phasers. Just randomly wrote a mark from here to the casing on this side and on this side, you see. And now why did I do that? just like I was telling you earlier, what I want to do is I'm going to remove the water pump. I'm going to turn it like 20 degrees to loosen the tension off of the water pump and tighten it up towards where the tensioner is at, so I have enough space to pull that water pump out and then put it back. When I put it back, this should line right back up where it was at, and that should line up, and so should the TDC. If it doesn't, it jumped a link, and I'm gonna have to do the whole. This video is gonna go from changing a water pump to how to time a chain. I'm sorry, how to set a timing chain on its mark, because this is gonna have to come off. But hopefully it doesn't happen that way. Let's see how this works out. I'll get back to you soon. Alright, we're back. Okay, so I took the water pump off camera, and that was a task in itself. You see, here's 3 bolts. See, 1, 2, 3 that are holding it. One thing you do want to have is one of these, a magnet. Because if you drop one of them screws up in there, you're going to do the whole job, because you're not going to be able to leave it there, and I definitely know for sure that you don't want to destroy your engine. So don't drop it, ease it out, you know, ease them out, and then use the magnet to pull them out, because if you depend on your fingers, you know, you get some slippery fingers, and this 2-hour job will easily turn into a 6 to 8 hour job. Anyway, moving past that, I did get it off. There's a way to get it off. You take off the 3 bolts, and then inside here it has thread, and on this side it has thread. Not on this side, across from each other. This is the way it faces, so that'd be up and down. That's how it faces on the engine. You use a bolt like this, and this is a 12 millimeter, and a bolt here, which would be on the bottom. And when it's on, you kind of twist, you know, with a wrench, of course, twist it a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there, and it starts to ease it out. It pushes itself out, see, from the back. This won't fit into the 10 millimeter bolt that's there, so it starts to push it out, and just a little at a time. Don't try to do it one way all down, because then you're going to do this, you might crack something. It's just going to be a mess. Just do it a little bit at a time. Maybe one turn here, one turn there, one turn here, one turn there, until it just comes out. Okay, we'll get back to you on the rest. Right now I'm trying to see the marks are still in place. You see the marks on the cam? Now the one on the harmonic balancer is not, because again I moved it 20 degrees back. Hopefully once I move this 20 degrees forward where it was originally, that mark will be on the top dead center. That mark will be exactly where it was to start with, and that one too. Those haven't moved, and that's what we want. Don't move those. If you move those, that thing will spring out. It's over. Anyway, hasn't happened yet. Hopefully we get this done soon. And here we are again. Okay, so I went ahead and I got this all lined up again. We're gonna check it. See, the whole thing was, that was the point of the marks. So here's the mark here. See the one on the phaser? Still in the same place. You know, it looks like it's not really quite on there, but it's because of the angle of the camera. But yeah, that's where I put it. And there's the other one there. I don't know if you see it right there. Phaser and on the thing. It's still marked right. And there we go right there on the one on the harmonic balancer. This mark I'm going to do with the tool. You know, 1, 2, third one. And see that little white mark? It's an indentation there. You can't see it, but yeah, there is an indentation there that lines it up, and it looks like it lined perfectly up. So I'm going to say this is a success here, and the rest of it's just buttoning it up, putting it all back together. You don't want to see that. That's time consuming and boring, so we're going to go ahead and skip right to the end and fire it up and see how she sounds. Alright, so we got her all put together, off camera of course. And I did want to add that before you start doing any of this work, you want to disconnect the battery and drain the coolant. I did that off camera. I drained the coolant, because if you don't drain the coolant, all the coolant is going to go all into your oil, what's called your crankcase, that is. It'll go all in there and mix up, and you don't want that, you know. If it does happen, it's no big deal. Just don't start the car. Just drain it all out real good, and and refill it, but definitely drain the coolant before you start this project. Anyway, I didn't want to start the car right now because I really hate it when people start the car, can't hear what they're saying because the motor is so loud. But here we go. Let me go ahead and start it up. I'll put the camera down here for now, and let's see what we can hear. And there it is. It seems to have worked out. I hope you guys can hear me over the engine, the sound of the engine, but this looks like it was a success, and you know, you can follow these steps and get it done in about 2 hours, I think it took me. All right, see you next time.